Trick Room is one of the most common moves in double battles, but in singles it rarely sees any play. The main reason being the falsely advertised 5 taunts in Trick Room. With several taunts going into positioning, you only get 2-ish taunts to attack into a Helmet Landorus. Despite that, the move does see usage in Gen 9 ZU, the weakest format there is. There are a few reasons for that, the biggest being how ZU mons get around wasting all their taunts. Probably the biggest reason for why ZU mons use Trick Room is how many of them set it up for themselves. This gets around a lot of the problems that Trick Room has. By setting it up for yourself, you save one taunt of switching, and by clicking a setup move before you set up Trick Room, you save another taunt, giving you access to the full 4 taunts of Trick Room. On top of all that, the opponent also needs to position right to make sure Trick Room doesn't go back up once it expires, since if you get 4 more taunts in Trick Room, the game is probably over. Monsters set up for themselves are also self-contained, giving you flexibility with the rest of your team, which is how monsters like Spiritomb, Farigiraf, Exeggutor, and even Mesprit work. The next reason we have are so-called free eaters, monsters that are solid on their own but benefit a lot from Trick Room. Having a mon like that on your team means you can get more value out of your Trick Room. For example, if your Spiritomb sets up Trick Room in front of a Whimsicott you can't KO, you can just go to your Glacier and start horsing around. So even once Trick Room is up, you still have options. It helps that all the slow and strong mons naturally fall down to CU, giving you access to a lot of powerful threats like Lestrier, Wood Bonnet, and even setters like Exeggutor. The final point I wanted to make was about how frail the meta is. One of the most common counterplays to Trick Room is switching around a lot to waste taunts, even using offensive mons for their typings. But with many mons in ZU having defenses in the 60s, it makes it a lot harder to dance around Trick Room. Mons like Sneasel, Basculin, and Jolteon are rocking 60-60 defenses, meaning that no matter what you click, they're probably gonna die. Even Hard Trick Room gets some new tools, with Hadrim actually keeping hazards off, setting Trick Room, and Healing Wishing enabling the strategy even more, on top of all the advantages from before. I think it's interesting that a strategy, which is usually isn't very strong, can actually function very well in the right environment. Pokemon has a lot of moves and Pokemon that are interesting but ultimately unviable, so the potential for them to find a place is exciting.